everyone. I just found out I was going to be your opening act. So this is fantastic.
This poem is titled Non-Compliant, and I will just read it and let you process what that would mean for you as a healthcare provider and for what that means for your patients who come to you for care. The word was non-compliant, penned by sundry hands all over her chart. It became the reflecting lens that formed their percepts. Her beauty and worth couldn't have suffered much spin. Like a lifesaver's assassin tongue, why was this acceptable, Lexis? Smother your smoldering sticks and never return to them, one would utter. Off your lazy boy and the scale will sigh, yet another would matter. Did they care enough to condense their heat? She confided in an obscure Davy Downer. Unworthy of memory was her past. She fondly entertained her enticing palate. Now at 50, 5'4", and a little over 350, her back cracked, knees clunked, nerves fired. Dare she aggravate her sores? She stared at the clock, wishing to turn it back. She'd seen the gut shrink her. First check with your heart plumber, else my sport you spoil, it'd be hopeless toil. Size unwise, you'd never fly. Puny heart, flimsy lungs, apt for the lawyer, meager payer. On and on, their reasons unending. Meanwhile, for kindness, her ears attending, for what cause was their indifference? Forbid yourself passing them off as non-compliant. Warm their discreet hearts to trust to disclose their bygones, battles, and scarce capacity. In kind word and gesture, fill their gapped knowledge. With verve, love, curve to serve, to the end you may care, whilst curing you can't. Thank you.
So I have an interesting background. Some of you know, some of you don't, but I'm half Brazilian and then half American. And my American heritage is Irish, German, English. And my great-great-grandmother was full Irish. And anyway, I really appreciate Irish music and culture and dance. I'm an Irish step dancer. But listening to Irish ballads really, I think, captures the heart of what the singer is trying to express. If you listen to the lyrics, some of them, it's not always following particular rhythm or, rhyming, and it's just an expression of their heart, expression of the pain they've gone through, expression of their experience within the Irish culture. And so my song is an attempt at reflection of what I experienced in Uganda this past summer. And Verica is the name of the hospital that I worked on. As I walked the paths of Verica, I thought a student is all I would be. I thought I'd come to watch, to learn. Didn't know how deep I'd feel or hurt the pain and sorrow of just one boy. As I walked the paths of Verica, the doctor he had come to see, he said he had no mother, no dad. Save our souls is what they call me. Oh, and sir, I have the HIV. My family died when I was but young, and now I'm reaching 16. Who knew that this boy who I did not know would find his way into my heart? The fear in his eyes, the doubt in his words, I knew he needed a friend. who felt at his end. They laid him down for surgery. His body shook and trembled with fear. Would he live? Would he die? Would he heal normally from this pain that caused his misery? The doctor said no need for concern, but his face showed despair and uncertainty. Who knew that this boy who I did not know would find his way into my heart? The fear in his eyes, the doubt in his words, I knew he needed a friend, this child that felt at his end. Down came the knife and made the first cut. He reached for the surgeon's tool and glove. I grasped his hands as fast as I could to make sure he would not move or hurt. Then I sang to him a song of hope. Then we cried and we held our bonded hands. Who knew that this boy who I did not know would find his way into my heart? The fear in his eyes, the doubt in his words, I knew he needed a friend. Oh, the wounds that needed to mend, this child that felt at his end.
One of my favorite metaphors as I was writing my ideas down for the project was to make order out of chaos. I think that's one of the biggest connections I made. Also, imperfections. I've seen a lot of imperfection in studying, in testing, in caring for patients, and that's inevitable. That's human nature, and it's in jewelry making too. I'm sure people would be surprised to find how many times I took these things apart and redid them. Sitting and working with something that, and I can't tell you how many hours I've sat with the light over my head, working on, with the beads and trying to get them to match up and trying to get them to say something to me. That's therapeutic. It's focus.
So the book is actually about how my exposure to Mexican culture will affect and has affected my interaction with patients. And so I found that it really does color the way that I'm able to relate to Hispanic patients and to actually patients of other cultures as well, because I'm open to the possibility that there are things that I do not know about this patient's background. In relationship to the flowers, my mother was kind enough to provide these from Mexico, and what she ended up bringing was flowers that were made of representative foods from Mexico, so the chili, the corn, which is a very typical Mexican staple, and beans, which is another very typical Mexican staple. And I wanted to have decoration around the book that made it feel like something that you were pulling a page literally out of Mexico, and you would find my book. Since the paper was made by hand and we sized it in the studio, it's not possible to put this into a printer. And we also believe that it was also very important to show that these are my stories. These are stories that I have lived, that I've experienced, that I have feelings and thoughts that I have had. And so I wanted to translate that with handwriting, and that is how I hand wrote every single one of these stories. There are 5 words in the book, and each word is accompanied either by a reflection or by an anecdote of an experience that I have lived in the past.